It's a pleasure for me to be here today. My name is Beatriz Pont, and I work at UNESCO International Institute of Educational Planning. And I am new to the world of micro-credentials. I'm actually an education policy expert, leadership for change, for education change expert, but we've just created new micro-credentials, so I'm very proud to be able to present this to you today. So the presentation I'm going to make is who are we, what is IIEP, and then what have we created, what global campus we have created, and what are our micro-credentials. So to begin with, IIEP, our mission is to train, to develop the capacity of UNESCO member states to plan and manage their education systems. And we have 193 countries around the world, and we work with ministries of education to develop their capacities and their skills to be able to do policy. And so we do that through training, through technical cooperation, and through research. And so those are our three functions. And I'm the head of training. And particularly what we do is we know that across the world, ministries of education officials are teachers. And so you don't expect teachers to be able to do policy. And that is why oftentimes education policy doesn't really get implemented well, or there's no change, no improvement in education levels across the world. So our focus is really to develop ministries of education and other stakeholders involved in education policy. And often, as I said, they have a teacher background, they have limited induction or training opportunities, they don't know how to plan. And the people who give money to them from many international organizations, from donor organizations, are also development experts, but not education experts. And so we cover that field to develop capacity at an individual level and institutional level. We've been training since the 1960s. It was our 60th anniversary last year, and we train, maybe for some of you this is small, but around 3,000 people per year from 193 countries. And we have core training, we have tailor-made training, so institutions come and ask us to develop training. And then we have projects that require training as part of the projects. And who are we training for? We have a very diverse profile. It's education planners and managers, executives of ministries of education, heads of planning, heads of policy, and then technical staff, professionals from development and government agencies, and university experts who work in the field of development. And our trainings are very practical, very hands-on. They're people normally online. This is now online. People drop out. There's a high level of dropout, but here most of the staff, of the people, the participants finish, and they say that they have confidence to do without help what we have taught them to do, and that they have the intention to apply. But with COVID and with the global developments as they are now, we had to evolve. We had in-person training. We had about 50 participants every year coming to Paris to the IIEP to train with our staff. And then numbers started going down because there was no money for them to come for a year. And so I was hired to create a new global campus at IIEP. We had to think how to do something that was future-bound. We had to adapt to the new changing policy context. We had to really see how to meet education policymakers' needs in a flexible way and enroll people with very limited funding possibilities, people who are living in Chad, in Burundi, in South Sudan, whose salaries are very meager and they cannot afford this. And then we have 3 offices, one in Dakar, one in Paris, one in Buenos Aires. So and each office was doing their own training without any harmonization across us. So how would we create this new global campus? So at the heart, we created a new strategy, and the new strategy said, okay, we're going to do a modular curriculum based on a competency framework and IIEP credits. That's where the micro-credential comes in. Then we have to have the IT part, of course. We have to have a global website, which we didn't have, and an IT system to register all the students, to select them, to bring them through to Moodle, to give them certificates. So that was number one. Number two, the curriculum. Number three, to develop a teaching and learning approach that was harmonized across the 3 offices, and for data, which was very also limited. So have a data ecosystem that was across the 3 offices that we can use to make decisions. Number 5, a sustainable resource model and the governance. So 2 years it has taken us to get here, and it's been quite a ride of developing all of these different components of the global campus. And I wanted to focus on the modular curriculum because that's underpinning the micro-credentials. We had to start somewhere. We had courses already that existed, but we needed to put them in a way that was a consistent curriculum. And so first we started to look at what were the demands, what are the competencies that people that are working in ministries of education need to have. And so for the future, we looked at different competency frameworks across the world and saw that their vision and strategy, results, networking, communication, but also technical skills as well. And so we analyzed, we did a scan of all the different competency frameworks, and we developed our own. So we developed a competency framework of what is an education policy planner, what skills do they need to have, and that's technical skills, but also relational skills and strategic skills of communication, collaboration, flexibility, leadership and management, in addition to being able to do education sector diagnosis, policy design, monitoring and evaluation, and program design and implementation, and lots of data development. So based on this, we developed our curriculum. And so our curriculum is a modular curriculum where we have foundations diploma that is composed of 4 micro-credentials. So we decoupled it, and we have different courses that they add up to 18 IIEP credits, which are the new way that we are delivering our system. And then we have individual courses that people can take as they go along online, such as using learning data to monitor progress with SDG 4 objectives, or early childhood education and care planning, or teacher policies in education, education monitoring systems. So these are short courses that can be taken independently or stacked to get a specialized diploma. And so that's what we built, and here's where we built the credentials. 1 IIP credit is 25 hours of learning, and I will explain how we got here. So the idea was to get a harmonized curriculum that anybody in the world can enter. We have some offer that is very regional, but others that are global, and mostly online, but some are hybrid. And we also developed a teaching and learning guide that is how do we develop a course to ensure that it's harmonized across our 3 offices and that it's quality assured. So that was key because every office was doing their own training in their own way, with their own costing template, with their own quality assurance, so we developed a guide with tools on how to plan the training, how to develop a course planning with a template, a course budget, how to analyze training needs, how to design the training. So we have to develop a blueprint and an information note, and how to develop the training, implement and evaluate. And all through this, we've developed a quality assurance system that is looking to assure quality so that we can deliver the micro-credentials. And then we embarked with Anthony Camilleri, who was wonderful. That's why I'm here in a way, because he's guided us through the process. And I found out today that we are innovators in a way that I had no idea when I stepped into this role. And when I came here, I'm like, oh my goodness, we've done something that everyone is talking about. There's innovators, there's people doing it, but we actually have put this into motion. So how we started, when we were doing the whole global campus, we had advice, actually, a study that proposed that we a micro-credential system would help us harmonize our offer across the 3 offices, but especially looking to our clients. Our clients are ministries of education and people working there who want to advance in their careers. And so what certificate, what training could we give them that was portable, that could be stackable, that could align to a master's level? So we looked at different options, and arrangements for a new degree granting academic partnerships were very time-consuming, very costly, very difficult. And knowing that our audience is global, we need to work to promote the acceptance of our system, and that a self-branded micro-credential system can streamline and harmonize our core offer and our tailor-made offer as well. So we looked into options. Okay, what do? We have different options. Program approach, do we go to a partnerships with a university or a degree granting institution? Do we modularize, or do we have a self-branded IIEP training micro-credential system? So we looked at the evidence as well, and the evidence, we had received an option study that was looking at our campus and suggested that we should develop self-branded credits. We looked at different institutions similar nature that were doing this, and that's the ITC-ILO, Asia Development Bank, the World Trade Organization, or others. We looked at the Bologna ECTS principles that suggest that you need to have quality, transparency, relevance, valid assessment, a learning pathway, recognition. I think it was presented in the previous session. And we looked at comparative studies, the OECD. So both of them, they presented this morning. And what is a micro-credential? And OECD recognizes micro-credentials as an organized learning activity with an associated credential that recognizes a skill and competency. And UNESCO as well. They did a study towards a common definition of micro-credentials. It's a record of focused learning achievement that includes assessment. And based all of this on our analysis, we defined the 5 criteria for our micro-credentials. ILOs, number 1, 2, they need to be assessed. Number 3, total learning time needs to achieve the ILOs, needs to be stated. So we align to the ECTS with 25 learning hours. So normally our courses are 100 learning hours or 4 credits, 4 quality assurance processes, and 5 a level descriptor. And so that is our certificate of completion. And before I finish, I wanted to share with you some data. We've launched already 4 or 5 micro-credentials. One is the one that I'm delivering on education leadership seminar on how to implement reforms. And it's 2 modules, 50 hours online and 50 in person in Paris or in Dakar in 2 weeks from now. And the idea is to develop the skills and competencies for people to lead education change processes. And the first edition had 43 participants from 30 countries. The second edition is now online. Right now is an online session at 10 o'clock this morning, but we're going to Dakar, and we have 35 participants from 13 countries in French, and we're going to be doing it in Latin America in Spanish as well. And another one is education planners, that it's a global cohort of 41 participants learning how to the foundations of education sector planning. So it's very global, very developing country oriented, but we have a lot of people also. We're starting to have more people from EU countries as well. And I just wanted to invite you to visit our global campus, and I'll be happy to respond. Behind this, we do have a lot of work on micro-credentials, and some of you may know Micaela Martin, who was working with us, and we've done a lot of publications on micro-credentials as well, which you're welcome to review to see how we have looked at. We have designing policies for flexible learning pathways in higher ed and other. So thank you very much, and I'm happy to be on time so that the next speaker can join the floor. Thank you.